Yo, what's up, everybody? How you doing? How is everyone doing right now? What's going on, Sarah, Darren, Matey? How you doing? What's popping? How's everyone doing? Yo, what's good? Taji, what's up? Raphael, yo. How you doing? Yo, Angel, what's up? How's everybody? Cool, cool, cool. We're gonna get started in just a few minutes. Angelina, what's good? Everyone can unmute their mic. Ty, what's up?
Hey, peace. What's up?
How you doing? I'm well. Joshleen, what's up? Yo, did I enjoy my birthday? Of course. I was working as a true Capricorn would. What's up, everybody? Yo, Amy, how you doing? Angel, what's going on? Hello, 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 hello. Fit Life by Jess. That's a long name. Why would your parents name you that? How you doing? Nice. Vanessa, what's going on? Hey, from Minnesota. I used to live there. So that's really suspicious that you would say that. That's awfully suspicious. That's weird. That's strange. I was born there. That's weird. Anyone else think that's kind of strange that they would say that? I think that's stalker behavior. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. Darren, what's up?
What's going on?
How you doing?
I'm just learning how the Zoom thing works. You know, how to
I appreciate you.
unmute everything and so on and so forth. I'm here.
Right. Jennifer, how's it going? Yo, what brought you here? What brought everyone here? I'm curious.
Just going through all the different things I see on the internet, and what I grasp onto, I grasped onto. Some things as you follow it, you see whether it takes you somewhere or it doesn't take you somewhere that you want to go.
Right.
And took me somewhere that I want to go. So I caught it on time. So here I am.
So that's amazing. Cool. Awesome. I'm excited. I'm glad you're here. Really.
We're happy to be here, Sonny. Thanks for doing this for us.
Of course. And there will be more, actually. I wanted to let y'all know that I am I'm a manifester in human design. So one of the big things with being a manifester is I need to inform. And I do want to do that more for everyone. So I definitely will be doing that a lot more for everyone because it helps me connect. I don't do readings. If y'all have questions about if I do readings or not, I don't read charts. I do coach people though. So, yo, thank you for coming in. What's up? There's a lot of new people. Okay. Katie, what's up? Sasha, how's it going? Key, what's popping? So yeah, I won't be reading charts. I will be teaching you how to read your chart. That is the difference between me and other astrologers. I don't want to read charts anymore because I've noticed a pattern where when I read people's charts, they don't listen. I'll talk to them for a full 60 whole minutes. They'll pay me $500 and I'll tell them exactly what to do and they'll go and do something else and I'm over it. So what I do now is I will teach you how to read your own chart and let you decide what that looks like for you. Does everyone understand that? Just go ahead and type 111 in the chat for me if that makes sense. You could type a yes in the chat for me if that makes sense to you too. I think it just makes more sense for everyone if I just teach you how to read it for yourself. And it took me about, I started when I was 6. So it did take me a little while, and I want to teach you how to do it today in about 4 weeks, okay, or less. Some people it takes less. It depends on the person. It depends on their lifestyle, but I definitely feel like a lot of you are capable. How many of you know math? Say yes or no in the chat. Let me know. Do you know math? Yes or no? Some of you might not know math. I don't know. Some of you aren't from Earth, so it might be hard. Some of you are not from this planet. So, yo, Najee, what's poppin'? Stephanie, what's good? Deborah says, I do calculus. Really? Okay, cool. So what I will be doing is introducing something called space math today. It's really just a way for me to teach you how to read your own chart. How many people know the 3 freedoms? If you know the 3 freedoms, type them in the chat because that's something we're going to go over today. Also, it's an Aries new moon. It's the start of the equinox, whatever the fuck that means. And what we do during that time period is we start brand new things, right? So yes, Mady says time, location, and finances. Brittany says, I love your TikToks. I love your face. I love your heart. I love your eyes. I love the way you breathe. Everything about you fuels me. Everything about you supports my existence. So thank you for being here. It's not funny, I'm serious. I'm a romantic person. Thank you all for being here. Amy, what's going on? Asha, you did your name in all capital letters, so I think you're a yeller. That's good. Gur, is it Gur or Gar? Tia, what's poppin'? Yo, Asha, it stands for all my names. Again, your parents failed you in the name department. I'm not sure why they keep doing that, but let's get to it. So I'm really grateful all of you are here. Go ahead and type a yes in the chat if you can hear me. I would love if you had your cameras on. I'm just waiting a few more minutes here for people to come on in. Everyone, do me a favor and tell me what's your rising sign so I have a good idea of who to attack throughout the presentation and who I should make fun of. I just need to know who I want to abuse throughout the presentation. Capricorn, oh yes, thank God. My Aquarius risings are here. Leo, I feel like making someone cry, so I might start with you. Definitely. Virgo, you're already overthinking, so I'm gonna leave you alone today. I got y'all last week. Aries, I'm an Aries rising. You are also safe because why would I bring myself down? Let's see here. We got a couple more people entering. Yo, what's going on? Who just entered? Amberine, what's going on? All right, perfect. So I do want to let you know we are already recording. This is going to be sent out to y'all later. I definitely want to give y'all this information throughout. I'm going to be doing more webinars. So if you like this, if you enjoyed this, if you learned something from this, there will be more. Okay. Everyone type a yes, I want more. If you've been to these before, this one's going to be a little bit different than my usual. I usually do my presentations quite differently. This time, I really am going to be going through something I haven't done before. It's going to be a bit uncomfortable. But by the end today, I'm going to be talking to a lot of you. And the goal is to answer questions of those people who have questions about astrology, about artificial intelligence, and about making money. Is that super clear with everyone? Because I know some people are like, oh, I have Aries in my 3rd house. What does that mean? That is not the cutest question. I want more cute questions. Everyone understand what a cute question is? Let me tell you what a cute question is. A cute question is, Sunny, I want to make my first $100,000 doing my clothing brand. My Aries is in the 5th house. What kind of clothes or what kind of brand should I make? And I'll be like, that is such a cute question. You should make clothes for kids because the 5th house represents kids. The 5th house represents art. The 5th house represents creativity, right? So that's a cute question. Juana, Diana, Amanda, Empress, your parents failed you in your name. Brandy and Cassie, hello. How's it going? What do you all want to do and be when you grow up and become 50 years old? I'm curious. And if you're 50, what do you want to be when you're 80? I'm curious. And if you're 80, what do you want to be when you're 200? Everyone go ahead and drop that in the chat so I can understand a little bit about who everyone is. Someone said a politician. Leave the room. Musician. I see a lifestylist, astrologer, perfect, a billionaire. What do you want to do to become a billionaire? I'm curious. Tell me. A traveler, nice. I want to become a millionaire. How bad? And be seriously financially stable. Katie, this is a great, prosperous idea. Entrepreneur, Elodie, what kind of business do you want to do? Asha says a singer and a coach and a painter. I like that. I like that for you. An actress, artist, and psychologist. I like that. A CEO of what? Digital artist. Gaia says, or Gia says, digital artist. Perfect. Najila says, I'm already an artist, but a graphic designer. Cool. Where does everyone have Aries in their chart? Let's tackle that real quick. I'm curious. And we'll get the presentation started. I think there's just a few more people coming into the room. What's up, everybody? First house, your first house, north-south node, 10th house, 5th house. Sell my products on Instagram. Cool. What is stopping y'all from doing that now? What's stopping you from doing that right meow? How many of you want to learn how to sell things online today? How to make money from your bed while you're sleeping? Anyone interested in that? Cool. Because if you're here for that, I have a super sick deal for you today on that. I want to teach you how I did 150K last year. $150,000 is a lot of money. It's also not a lot of money. It's a lot of money. When you learn how to do it, you realize it's not that much money, which is crazy because I've actually been homeless 3 times. How many of you knew that? I've been homeless 3 times trying to figure this out. So I can tell you what not to do, which is really fun. I can tell you exactly what to not do. And I'm going to go over those 3 secrets today on what to not do. Because if you do the 3 things that I tell you not to do, it's going to actually slow down your process. It's going to hurt you. It's going to slow down the people you're supposed to help in this specific lifetime, right? So that's really the goal here. That's the objective. Anyone have any questions before we get started? You can't unmute yourself, but you can definitely raise your hand. I just want to check and make sure that everyone knows that you can raise your hand. Leanne is here. What's poppin', Leanne? Empress and Deborah. Okay, cool. Real quick, while we're getting people in the room, I'll take a couple questions. Deborah, what is your cute question? I asked you to unmute. What is your cute question? I'm not sure if you're in here for the cute question, but a cute question is not, what does Aries in the 3rd house mean? No, that's not a cute question. A cute question is, how can I use it to do X, Y, Z, right? Okay, Deborah, you're not being an Aries, so I'm gonna let Empress take over and Henrique. What's up, brother? Unmute yourself.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Pretty good. I can't complain. It's my first time joining your webinar. I've been a follower of your TikTok for like 2-3 years, and it's like, yeah, seriously, I've been super like inspired by your like account to like learn more about astrology.
What?
So the cute question I have for you, so I'm really passionate about fashion law, and I really want to make a change when it comes to like IP and patents and, you know, seeing the industry change. And the question I have for you is, I have like an Aries Mars in the 12th house and an Aries rising. And I really want to get more involved in law and become more financially stable. And, you know, I've been trying to manifest, and, you know, I just feel like I'm getting into the wrong idea of how to manifest with my chart. And I bought your the book that you have, and I've been trying to learn more about the house placements. What's the best way to move forward with that?
So the house that rules legalities and law, there's 2. The 7th house. So if you're Aries rising, you want to look at your Libra in your chart. Yeah. What planets, if you have any, if you don't have any, it doesn't matter. It's just the house that's important, because the 7th house has to do with contracts. It has to do with, things that you sign, literally. So anytime you make a deal with someone, it's a relationship. The 7th house is relationships. Everyone type the word relationships in the chat for me, so I know you're paying attention. Relationships are in the 7th house. Relationships can be romantic, they can be platonic, they can be legal, they can be spiritual, they can be psychological, they can be any way. So you want to look at your 7th house ruler, which is Libra. The ruler is the planet. The planet that you want to look at is Venus. Everyone type Venus in the chat. Where the heck is your Venus? That's what you want to figure out.
If
That's
I have
the
a
first.
Venus
Hold
in the
on, one
10th
second, one
house.
second,
Oh,
one second,
sorry.
one second.
I'm just
I got
excited.
you. Yeah, so that's the first part. I'm not going to give you the answer. I'm going to show you. I'm going to take you to the water, and if you want to drink it, drink it. So the Venus is in the 10th house. What does the 10th house mean? That's your answer. That's how you get into that career. You need to become an expert because the 10th house is expertise, yeah? You need to be an expert. The second thing is if you want to become a fashion person in law, you need to study your 9th house. Everyone type 9th house for me in the chat. Type the 9th house in the chat. Fit by Jess is back. I guess she's more fit now, more fit than she was when she left. So she's back. By the way, the sun's setting. So if you see this amazing glow on my skin, I promise it's not my skincare routine. It's actually just the sunlight, okay? And if you want to know the best skincare routine, it's actually just optimal sunlight, by the way. Okay, so second thing you want to do is look at your 9th house ruler. Your 9th house ruler in your chart in astrology is going to tell you how you help people with philosophy. A huge part of law is philosophy. So you need to look for Jupiter. Are there any women here today? Women, people who have wombs? Cool. Jupiter is a very important planet for women. If you want to find the right husband, not a husband, the right husband, or partner, excuse me, also, Jupiter is that planet. Jupiter is that boy that you want to hang out with. So Jupiter and Venus, Henrique, are the 2 planets that you want to work with in your chart. I can go way more in depth. I'm going to show you a little bit later. You said you bought the Manifest with Astrology workshop or the ebook? Which one?
The ebook. I have the ebook.
Cool. So I actually just upgraded that into a workshop. So there's that book. And then I've also made a digital version of it, which you can find on my website. That's all I have for y'all today, really. And I'm going to be taking calls. So I don't have anything really to sell you outside of that ebook, or excuse me, the workshop. Everyone type workshop in the chat for me, so we're all on the same page. And that's really all I have for you today. Outside of that, we're going to be going through a lot of how to break this stuff down really quickly. Okay, everyone on page. Anyone else have a question? I think we're going to take one more question. Henrique, thank you for that. Deborah, you still haven't said anything. Are you ready now? Cool.
Sorry about that.
You're golden. You're beautiful.
Thank you, honey.
Of course.
I appreciate that. Okay, so you want to know what I'm looking to do. And I just ran across your stuff like last night.
Nice.
I was totally in awe. I like wrote hundreds of notes.
Oh,
and
God.
then I decided to fucking let's do this. I'm a person now, right? So I'm a disruptor in the erotica, romance, and love categories.
Beautiful.
I'm looking to utilize AI to do that along with my chart because JP Morgan said billionaires use astrology, not millionaires.
Facts.
So I said, well, fuck it. Let me look at something different because for me to be somebody I've never been before, I need to do something I've never done before. So this is why I'm open to this new alignment of thinking. Makes sense?
Sure. Absolutely. I'm excited to have you.
Thank you. So my Aries is in, thank you so much for that. My Aries is in my 9th house and Pisces, which is Venus is in, for Pisces is in my 8th house.
Okay.
And I have Leo in my 1st house and I got Leo rising. I'm learning, just slow.
You're Leo rising?
And Leo in my 1st house.
And what do you want to do?
Be a disruptor in the erotica and romance and love section.
Okay. And that's
too much?
No, it's completely good. I just want to make sure that we're on the same page. So I'm just moving a slide real quick while I talk. Oop,
Okay, I'm going to get some paper while you talk.
So Leo rising people, who saw my Leo videos recently about how to get famous? If you want to get famous, you need to use the Leo in your chart. Yeah.
I watched.
So that's actually what I did to get famous on social media. Was you need to do 3 things really well. First one is you need to inspire others.
Yes.
Second thing is you need to encourage other people. The third thing you need to do is what? Who remembers?
Consistency.
Consistency. So can we inspire and encourage people once a week and get away with being famous?
No, I would think that this would be a multi-tiered approach.
Yes. Consistency is the biggest piece. And whether you're a whether you're a Leo, Taurus, Scorpio, or Aquarius, consistency is huge for you. Wherever,
Okay.
who has those placements, just say yes in the chat for me. You need to have those placements. We're going to get the presentation started in just a second.
Which placements and where? Where are you asking?
All the fixed signs. So if Leo is your first house,
yes, that
means that Aquarius is your 7th. Yeah,
that's right.
And that means that your 10th house, your career house, has to be Taurus.
That's right.
So your career is actually, you're supposed to talk about pleasure. You're supposed to talk about money. You're supposed to talk about Venusian things. Venusian meaning, and also Venus just entered your 10th house. Yeah. So Venus just went into Taurus. Everyone type the word Taurus in the chat. Where's Taurus in your chart? Because that's where you're going to be making, how you're going to be making, Taurus what you're going to be doing to make money. Yes. Taurus, Venus just entered Taurus. So you should be making money by, again, same thing I told Henrique, you need to become an expert. If you want to disrupt, be an expert. How am I able to disrupt the astrology community? By doing social media. I help people grow to hundreds of thousands of followers. What else? I help people hit $15,000 a month selling stuff online. How else? I help people brand because it took me 10 years to brand. How many of you want to learn this stuff? You know, Christelle, welcome to the room. You're the last person I want to see enter. So anyone else who comes in, you're just not going to get in. And I'm really excited. What was that?
Poor them.
They'll be okay.
I agree.
So let's go ahead and get started on the Prezi. But yeah, you wanna be more consistent. I'm gonna talk a lot about consistency today because it's a huge topic. That was one of the things that I struggled with, was consistency and how to actually utilize this type of energy in my life, right? So who's ready to get started with the presentation? I'm super excited to have you all here. I'm super excited to present this. This is just one of many presentations we'll be doing moving forward. And I look super, super forward to working with all of you in some capacity. Like I said, I don't do readings. I would love to, but I just don't have the space for it. Does anyone remember why I don't have the space for it?
People don't follow your directions.
Not in 60 minutes, they don't. So everyone go ahead and unmute yourself and give me a big old hi so I know you're alive.
Hello.
Hi, here.
Hey.
Hello.
What's
going
on? What's going on?
Hi.
Who's here for the Aries new moon?
Me.
Here for it.
So, all right, I'm going to mute all of you because your voices are too pretty. It's going to destroy the audio. Awesome. Appreciate all of you. So let's get started. So today, what I'm going to be teaching you and talking to you about is how to manifest health, wealth, and relationships in 1 week. The reason why is because astrology's been around for how long? Can you guess how long astrology's been around? And I'm going to answer you. Before Adam and Eve. Who knows who Adam and Eve? How many of you have heard of Adam and Eve before? How many of you have heard of Buddha? How many of you have heard of Muhammad? Yeah. So every holy book that I've read, which I've read the Torah, I've read ancient Sanskrit, I've read the Kabbalah, translated, I've read the Bible multiple times. I've read the Quran translated. They all mention the stars in the very first 5 pages. Isn't that crazy? Yes or yes? Isn't that wild? One of the things I love so much about astrology is that every religion points back to it. And that's the foundation of health, wealth, and relationships. How many of you can see this picture on the left side here of this child? If you can read it, you can see here every zodiac sign actually corresponds with a body part as well. So Aries today deals with the head. So today I'm going to be having you work. I'm going to be working with your crown chakra, because Aries rules the crown chakra. Everyone type crown in the chat for me so I know you're paying attention. And this will help me just, move forward, okay? Cool, thank you so much. So today we're going to be talking about how to manifest with astrology, and we're going to be talking today about the Manifest with Astrology workshop. Everyone who's here is technically the first group. If you paid attention to what I've been doing for a little while, for those of you especially those of you who followed me for the last 2-3 years, you literally saw me go from homeless to get an apartment to now I'm traveling the world. So everything's happened in about 2 years pretty quickly. And it's been because I've been using my crown chakra. I'm an Aries rising. Where are the other Aries risings in here? Erica, what's popping? So since about 2021, yeah, since I really blew up on social media, I was homeless 3 times trying to figure this out. And it's really funny. I mean, it was a painful experience, but also really cool at the same time, because now I get to show you how I ripped myself out of that really not so fun situation. Yeah. So Aries in the birth chart. How many of you have Aries in your birth chart? There's one answer. The answer is yes. Everyone does. Someone said, where are you now? I'm in, guess. Everyone has Aries in their birth chart. Today we're going to navigate how to find it, okay? So I want you to imagine, and maybe some of you fit this, but this is me, Sunny Wayne, also known as Sunny Man. I'm just wearing a bat outfit. So this is me, rich, prosperous, saving the world. And imagine growing up poor, sad, misunderstood, chubby, outcasted, and lost. That's where I was when I first got on this journey. Like I said, I actually started reading astrology and zodiac signs when I was a little boy. My mom would have me read the newspaper. How many of you have read those horoscopes in the newspaper or seen that before? My mom, I had a speech impediment because we were refugees from West Africa, Sierra Leone. And my mom would have me read those zodiac horoscopes to her from the newspaper. And it was really funny because it ended up being the thing I'm doing. I'm 30 now. Literally I started doing this when I was 6. So it's taken me 24 years. For those of you who have been wanting to learn astrology, I've been doing this since I was 6. Yeah. So for those of you who've been wanting to understand how to read your chart and how to make money and how to become free, I want to give you a quick disclaimer. All right. The quick piece of advice, in case you need some help, this doesn't work unless you do. Does everyone understand that real quick? I just want to make sure I'm not selling you any false dreams or selling you anything. I don't want to sell you a lie, right? I just can't do it. It doesn't resonate with me energetically. So what we need to do before we do anything is I need you to identify what are your priorities. If you don't have any, think about money, wealth, and relationships. Those are the 3 most important priorities in almost everyone's life, okay? The next thing that you need to focus on is balance your trade-offs. Are you watching TikToks and Instagrams all day and watching people's stories? Or are you making TikToks and making stories? Which one? Which side of the fence do you want to be on? You need to get really clear on that, because that's going to help you understand, okay? You need to also prioritize your goals, because your goals, if you don't have any, someone's going to have some for you. How many of you have been in a relationship with someone, whether it's a parent or a partner or a friend, and they call you and say, hey, we're going to go do this right now. And you're like, okay, because you're not doing anything. How many of you have been in that scenario? Or how many of you are the person who's like, hey, we're going to go do this right now? and you have a goal and you want someone to come with you, say yes in the chat if you're that type of person. I can't see anyone talking. Both scenarios. Guy says, okay, cool. Tia says, yeah, cool. Katie says, yeah. So this is very important if you have Aries placements, which does everyone have Aries placements? I know some people have said, I don't have Aries in my chart. Is that true? It's not true. Everyone has Aries in their chart, yes? Everyone give me a big old yes. Yes, yes, yes. I do have Aries in my chart. Okay? This is important. So here's a quick case study of someone I've helped before. And this person came to me. How many of you have seen Lisa before? Some of you have seen Lisa before. If you've seen Lisa before, say, I've seen Lisa. I helped Lisa go from 1,600 followers to 100,000 followers. This first screenshot I took was kind of a phenomena because she bought the Manifest with Astrology workshop. And that was before it was actually called the workshop. That was when it was just the course. Lisa bought it for like $99. And I'm going to give it to you for less today, but she got it for 99 bucks. And she was able to go from 1,600 followers to 100,000 followers. How many of you want that? How many of you want this kind of experience where you can go from like almost no followers to like 100,000 followers? Right. So the thing is, I wish I had this when I was like figuring it out, because Lisa's making like $15,000 a month now. And I'm so happy that she found me, because she's a Taurus rising, and she met me during the eclipses last year when it was a Taurus eclipse and a Scorpio eclipse moon. And she was like literally working a part-time job, and she was in school full-time, but she did Ayurveda and she didn't know where to start with her Ayurvedic business. So I was like, yo, I would give you a reading, but I honestly feel like because you're in like this spot right now, it would be better for you to just do the course. And she was like, yeah, I'll do the course. And she did the course, and she literally posted like 6 or 7 times, and she did one video exactly how I said it. And it did like 2 million views, and she was able to get 100,000 followers, which is sick, right? Brittany says, I want 1,500 a year. I can show you how to do 1,500 a month, right? I've actually worked with some people that are doing 1,500 a day. Money is really funny, actually. And it's really interesting. If you want this, I know some of you are saying you want this. It's actually up on my website right now. You can go grab it. Let's talk about the new moon, though. So the new moon is for new opportunities. The new moon is for new opportunities for you. Everyone type new opportunities. 1,500 a day makes $500,000 a year. $1,500 a day is actually very possible. You know, if you do what I tell you, and the reason why I say what I tell you is not because of me, it's because of the people that I've learned from. Okay, so new opportunities. So who is this for? Let me know in the chat if this fits you. Are you an artist, an influencer? Do you own a business? Are you a regular person like me? Are you a spiritual person? Do you have a multi-level marketing company? Do you have placements in Aries, Libra, Capricorn, or Cancer? If that's you, you're in the right place. If that's you, you're in the right place. All right. So the big goal and the big decision. The big goal and the big decision is, do you want money or love? A lot of you will say, I want money, when you actually want love. And a lot of you who want money will say you want love because love's hurt you. A lot of you who say you want love is because money has deceived you. So both is probably the best answer, right? How much money do you think, if I gave you right now, if I told you, yo, this is exactly how you get 100,000 followers right now, and you showed those people love, do you feel like they would give you money? Yes or yes? If I showed you how to get 100,000 followers and I gave them to you, basically, I just handed them to you, and you went in and you're like, yo, like, I love y'all. And then you told them stuff about what you love so much. Do you feel like they could give you money? Perfect. Yeah, it's completely true. So the goal for this workshop web class is, the only way to manifest love, $100,000 business, and better health is through starting with yourself. So everyone type me in the chat. The only way to manifest freedom is through setting others free. So I'll tell you right now, when I was doing chart readings, I had to stay in my apartment. So even after I was homeless 3 times, everyone typed 3X. I was homeless 3 times before I got this really cool apartment by myself. And in that apartment is where a lot of you met me and a lot of you found me. And I was doing about $2,000 a month. 2,000, 3,000. Everyone type 3,000 in the chat. I was doing 3,000 doing readings. How many of you are astrologers? Because if you're just starting out, like 3,000 a month, like that's like rent and food and phone bill. Like there's nothing left after that. Yes or yes, there's nothing left after that. Like that's rent, a little bit of food. You can maybe like what I used to do. My issue back then is I used to drink. I used to drink and smoke. I don't do that anymore, but that was really eating my money, right? Drinking and smoking, $20 here, $50 there, blah, blah, blah. Like I would just lose all my money. So even though I was working for myself and I had a business, it was pretty much like paycheck to paycheck, which was terrible, right? So what did I do? I started teaching astrology. I started teaching business. And that was what helped me hit $10,000 a month, was setting other people free. The moment I started setting other people free is when I became free. Does that make sense, everyone? Yes or yes? Cool. So a lot of you have told me, or a lot of you want to help people, right? And the big thing is when you're helping people, you need to help them with their things. And you need to do it in a way that's like systemized, like easy, quick. And that's something I had to figure out. It took me a little bit of time. So why am I qualified? Because I'm just a dude. Right? I'm just a guy. Why I'm qualified? I helped Rita do it. Rita literally called me. She paid me like $400 or something, $500. And we got on the phone. She was like, yo, Sonny, like, I see what you do with this. This was last year, this time. She was like, yo, I love what you do. I was in California at the time. She was like, yeah, I really want, I drive a school bus and I want to learn how to, like do social media stuff and use my chart. I was like, say less, like, let's do it. And she paid me. Literally, I told her, I was like, okay, I'm going to send you a trends list. I'm going to send you videos on what to post. And she was like, okay. She posted one video and the video did like literally 800,000 the next day. Like 800,000. Everyone type 800K in the chat. It did 800,000 views, like literally in one day. And we had, like, at the time I was just doing like trends lists and weekly calls. Like that was it. Like there was no course, there was no books. Like I wasn't doing anything else. And we had a call the next week and she was like, I had a video did a million views and I gained 1,400 followers. And I was like, what? And she's like, yeah, I wanted to tell you, but I just wanted to I forgot. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like you did that you literally did that 24 hours after we talked. And she was like, yeah. And I gained 1,400 followers. I'm going to quit my job. And I was like, okay, cool. Let's do it. And from there, we just started building her business and she started making like $3,000 like the next week because she did the course, the workshop, which is now the workshop. How many of you want that? Because that was the craziest. I was a little bit upset with her because she didn't tell me, because when you hit 800,000 views like that, you're supposed to actually like make a video series or something. Like you're supposed to do something to follow up on that, right? So I'm going to just relocate real quick so I can get some more sunlight. Is that cool with y'all? The sun's going down, like I said earlier. So that's what Rita did. Who remembers the last person I did this with? So there's Rita and who else? Who else did I talk about? Who remembers the first person? Lisa. Yeah. So Lisa hit 100K and Rita hit 14K. Rita quit her job, and Rita, I literally don't know what country this girl's in. She's in a new place every like month. She started traveling, like I was still in America, and she started traveling in so many different places. So Lisa and Rita, everyone type Lisa and Rita. Okay. Lisa and Rita, type that in the chat. Those are just 2 people that we did this with, right? Now, another person, why I'm qualified is I actually learned astrology from this person. Her name's Linda Moonrabbit Zlotnick. She's one of the top astrologers in Minnesota, where I was born and raised. She taught me how to do synastry. Synastry is relationship astrology. So it's taking 2 charts and bringing them together. So a lot of you are like, oh, I want to be like, Henrico's like, oh yeah, I have Aries rising and Aries in the 12th house. I want to do fashion law. And I'm like, do it. Like, just do it. Because the thing is, you know, what did I say earlier? What was the disclaimer? Does anyone remember the disclaimer? Henrik says, I loved her book. I loved it too. This was my first astrology mentor. What was the first disclaimer? Dre, yeah, this doesn't work unless you do. So at the end of the day, the astrology is there to support you, but if you don't do it, if you don't go for it, it doesn't work. Everyone understand that? Like, if you don't try it, it just doesn't like magically pop up into your life. Like, I can tell you all day, like, oh yeah, you're a Leo rising, you have Leo placements, you can be famous. But if you don't do the thing, it just doesn't work. And this is what I learned with Linda is when I met Linda, it was like right before quarantine. And I actually didn't, at the time, I didn't know all the zodiac signs. Like, I would forget some. People would pay me for readings. I was charging like $50, $60. Everyone typed $60 in the chat. I would charge like $60 for a birth chart reading. And literally, it would take me hours to come up with answers. So I would type them instead of like doing readings live like I used to do. I would have to type them out, and it was so long. It was crazy. So this is what I ended up doing is Linda taught me 2 things. She taught me how to draw a chart. She taught me how to do synastry, and she also taught me how to do presentations. So she's one of the main reasons why I'm actually here today. And when I was home, the last time I was homeless, guess whose office I was sleeping in? Everyone type it in the chat so I know you're paying attention. Guess who let me sleep in their office? She's a Virgo. Linda. Someone said Rita. No, I just met Rita. Linda let me sleep in her office when I was homeless. And in her office, she had a bunch of astrology books, like about 400 roughly. Guess what I did in the cold, when I was eating ramen noodles, homeless, guess what I was doing? Sophia says, did you have to pay her to teach you? No, I was actually working for her. So the nice thing about having a mentor, there's 2 ways. You can either pay a mentor to help you, or you can work for the mentor. It goes both ways, but I was basically working for her for like really like cheap. Like, she would pay me like a couple $100, and it would be like just enough to pay my cell phone bill and eat more food while I was sleeping in her office, right? I was literally reading. Yeah, I was reading in her office. I was reading tons. And like she had this book about, it's like literally called, it was like called Rising Signs by Linda Goodman. And it was such a good book because it taught me like what all the rising signs did. So I studied my rising sign, Aries rising. And then at the same time, everyone type the word progressed in the chat for me, so I know you're paying attention. Progressed. So you have multiple rising signs, but the 2 important ones are your natal chart, which is when you were born rising sign, and then you have your progressed rising sign. Your progressed rising sign is really important because it's your rising sign right now. Your rising sign right now is more important than your rising sign when you were born. So like right now, I'm a Gemini rising, Aries sun, Capricorn moon, but I'm born a Aries rising, Pisces sun, Sagittarius moon, right? So if you want to like, and I'll talk to you more about this later, but like your progressed chart is way more accurate than your natal chart for the moment, for right now. Everyone type right now. Everyone type right now. Your progress chart is more important for right now. So Linda taught me this, and I was like mind blown. I was like, what? And she was like, yeah. And then she showed me transit charts. Transit charts is how people do forecasts. So how to predict things. So like her clients would come in and she would have clients like they would come back every year and she would do a reading for them for a year and she would tell them what was going to go happen for the next 12 months, right? And I was like, what? Like, are you kidding me? And she was like, yeah, like this is what astrology really is. And I was like, this is insane. I thought astrology was just like Aries are toxic because they're like really like impulsive, and Tauruses just love to eat, and Geminis just love to talk, and Cancers are always crying. Like, I thought that was astrology, and I found out I was super wrong. I found out that that's exactly not how astrology works, right? So I'm so grateful to Linda for that reason. And then after Linda, how many of you know who this is? I know some of you know who this is. This is Jason. Jason was my other mentor. Jason taught me literally how to do some of the most complex things in astrology, which is zodiacal releasing. So type zodiacal releasing, type astrocartography. Jason showed me, when you look at a birth chart, you can also figure out the best place for people to live based on their chart, right? Karen, what's poppin'? Jason is sick. I worked with Jason for 3 months, and actually, my last meeting, my meetings happened around the same time that George Floyd was killed, and I lived just a few blocks away from where George Floyd, I'll call it pre-murder, happened, and I was getting coached by Jason during this time. This was when I really first started posting on TikTok because we were in quarantine. I didn't really have another option. So my option was to make TikToks. And as we started to leave quarantine, the riots would happen right by my house. And I would literally, Jason and I would talk about racism and diversity. We would talk about Vedic astrology. We would talk about tropical astrology. We would talk about how the different spiritual tools were colonized. And we would talk about cosmology. And he taught me so much. He taught me specifically about prediction. Everyone type prediction in the chat. So the reason why I was able to help Lisa and Rita was because I looked at their birth charts and I knew that if they started posting certain types of content, that they would go viral. That's how I was able to do it. And how much did Lisa pay? How much did Lisa pay? Does anyone remember? How much did Lisa pay for the course at the time? Lisa paid 99 US. Rita paid 500, right? And the reason why is because I didn't have to talk to Lisa. So I just gave her the thing that I pre-recorded, which I'll give y'all today too, which is on my website right now. You can go buy it right now and you can get access to it right this second. But this is how I was able to help them. Was Jason taught me prediction, astrology, and he taught me exactly how to use something called anatomy. How many of you know what anatomy is? Anatomy is like the human body. And like I said before, Aries rules the head, yeah? So Aries rules the head. So most Aries people, they experience a concussion, or they have really pretty faces, or they're really hard-headed, right? They're really strong-minded, yeah? So this is things you need to be aware of based on your rising sign. So right now, I have Gemini rising, right? So what did I do? I got my hands tattooed. You can't really see it. Hold on, real quick. Let me stop the video for a second so I can turn on the light so we can all see me, because, I'm brown. I'm not black, I'm brown. Lamau. Okay, cool. So here we go. I think this light should work. Okay, fire. It's a little dim. I feel like Harry Potter in the corner. Okay, can y'all see my face? Yeah? Cool. Y'all are saying LOL in the chat. I love it. So Jason taught me all this really cool stuff. And Jason was the one who put me on. He was like, yo, Sonny, next year, Saturn's going to be leaving, or Saturn, he was like, Pluto and Saturn are going to be doing, the Great Conjunction is going to be happening in your social media houses. Just expect to go viral. And I was like, okay. And then I did. And I actually gained 14,000 followers. It was crazy because I never expected that to happen. It was the most unexpected thing. And it happened so quickly. And then now, guess what? That's what I teach to others. So how did I become a sexy psychic astrology coach hero origin story? How did that happen? Yeah, this is the greatest story. I feel like One Punch Man. One Punch! gosh, how many of you seen that show? So I was homeless 3 times. Everyone typed 3 in the chat. It took me 3 times to figure this out because no one was helping me. I refused to stay with my mom. I refused to stay with my family. My grandparents kind of don't like me because I'm super cute. Like I've always been the person who other people relied on. I dropped out of college. I broke up with my ex-fiance, and then I figured it out. I had to be alone. Yeah, I had to do all these like really painful things had to happen. And I don't really want y'all to go through these painful things. Okay. So I wanted to accomplish 2 things. The external thing was have enough money to be, feel, and live freely. How many of you want that too? The second thing is I had to get internally correct with myself, which was I knew that money was important to me, but I wanted to earn it legally because there was a point in my life during my homelessness things where like a lot of people around me weren't making money legally, right? So I wanted it to be real, and I wanted the money I made to come as a result of me helping people. Does that make sense, everybody? Why I would want that internal and externally? And that was just something I really like, I needed. And that's just like on that, like desires and values, yeah? So I hit a wall at this point. The wall I had to overcome was like, there was a problem. And the problem for me was I didn't have someone to show me how to build a business with astrology. Like, yes, I had Linda. Yes, I had Jason. But the thing is, Linda wasn't able to really live freely until like her 50s, 60s when I met her. And Jason actually had like a whole other job. So like he told me, he was like, yeah, I have another job and I do astrology. And I was like, what? Like, why? Like, you help so many people. And he was like, yeah, but it's just not enough money. And I realized it was because he was doing readings. I was like, this isn't working. Like, they're still trading their time for money. Is this making sense, everybody? I was like so confused. Like, why? Why do these people who help thousands of people not get paid their worth? I was pissed. It just didn't make sense. And that was the wall I hit. Okay. So the epiphany I had was everyone around me was showing me how to do it. I just simply wasn't acting on my intuition at all, like not enough. So my intuition told me if I was going to do this, instead of me reading people's charts, instead of me like giving people the tea, I had to teach them how to brew the tea. Everyone type the word brew in the chat. I'd rather teach you how to brew the tea than tell you I'm going to give you the tea. Because now what happens if I go on vacation somewhere and I don't want to talk to you for a few minutes, you're stuck. I don't want that situation. That's not cool to me. Does this make sense, everybody? Why I turn into a teacher instead of like just reading charts like every other astrologer? Right. Karen says thumbs up. Cool. So the plan I created was to learn from everyone around me, and I said yes to everything. If you have no clue what to do with your life right now, this is the best advice. All right. Everyone around me, still to this day, I learn from everyone around me. And whenever someone tells me something, I may not do it, but if they're making more money than me, if they are in a position that I want to be in, guess what I'm doing? Guess what I'm doing? If someone's making more money than you and they give you advice, should you listen or should you ignore them? I'm learning. Yeah, literally. One of my buddies, he makes like a couple million a year. He just bought like his first Lamborghini. He was like, Sonny, you're so good at what you do, brother. You should just sell the trends list. By the way, if you work with me, I will send you a trends list on, just like how I sent Rita, I will send you a trends list on what to post. Okay. He was like, you should just sell the trends list. Like people need that. Like no one knows what to post. Just sell that. And I was like, I will. Like literally, I didn't even think. He just told me to do it. And I was like, okay, I will. I'll do it. Because why? Because he's making more money than me. Literally, you just have to listen to people. Because why would the universe put someone in front of me who's doing better than me and tell me to do something that would hurt me? That doesn't make sense, right? So like a good Aries rising, I just did what people said who were more successful than me. I said yes. The conflict is I didn't feel like I knew myself enough to do what they were saying. How many of you have experienced that? Like someone who's doing what you want to do tells you what to do, and then you're like, I don't know enough. I don't know enough about myself. I don't have enough information to start. So what did I do? I decided to pay my mentors. So with Linda told me from the jump, she was like, if you want to be an astrologer, I'm going to tell you right now, like, you're going to be very, very wealthy. I don't know if it's going to be through astrology. And I was like, in my head at that time, I decided that it was going to be through astrology. Like something in my head was just like, do it through astrology anyway. She's a Virgo, prove her wrong, LOL. I was like, I'm going to do it anyways. And music also, exactly. I knew if I used music and business, I could propel my astrology further than other people, right? So I paid my mentors to help me. I have about 12 mentors that I've worked with in the last 10 years. I just showed you 2 of my astrology mentors. The results, what were the results of me paying these people? I got a 6-figure business and I've been able to travel the world and I'm working on my own time. Soon to be 7 figures, which is crazy because I was homeless how many times? How many times was I homeless? 3. I went from homeless 3 times to making 6 figures, which is insane because I just used astrology and I just used the stuff that when I was homeless to help you figure this out, right? So the transformation I experienced after learning how to read my chart was self-love. Because when someone who's more successful or when someone who knows what to do to help you tells you something and you don't have self-love, you're not going to listen to them. It's actually like a huge block that I run into with a lot of people that I come across when I work with them. And this is why 60-minute readings don't really do anything. I'm not going to tell you whether or not to buy a reading from an astrologer, but if you pay like an astrologer $250 and you don't have self-love, you just wasted your money. And I like something inside of me was like, why am I like, I'm taking this person's money and they're asking me about their ex-partner that doesn't love them. And they're asking for me, like, if they're going to come back. And they're asking me like, is this person going to come back into my life? Or am I going to, like, people would literally pay me hundreds of dollars and then ask me like, am I going to be successful? And I'm like, what are you asking me? Like, why are you asking me if you are going to be successful? And you're depressed and you like don't love what you do and you like have no clarity in your life. Like if you don't have self-love, reassurance, and clarity, like the money you just paid me to tell you the answer, like you still won't believe me because you don't believe yourself. Right? So that's why I stepped away from doing readings, is because if people don't have self-love, reassurance, and clarity, nothing I say will change that person or their circumstances, literally. And I read a chart for someone like a year or 2 ago, and they came back to do an interview with me. And she was like, yeah, everything you told me happened. Like the things happened with my son, the opportunity for my job came, but I didn't take it. And I was like, what happened? She was like, I didn't feel like it. Like, I didn't believe in myself. And I was just like, what? Like, why would you not take this opportunity? Like, you paid me hundreds of dollars, literally, to talk to you for an hour. And like, literally, I got it down. She literally was like, Sonny, like, you got it down to the week. Like, the same week that you told me it would happen, it happened. Like, my son got in a car accident and like everything that I wanted for the promotion, like they offered me more money than I wanted, but I just didn't believe in myself. And I was like, damn. And it actually, like, it kind of hurt me. Like, I'm a Pisces. Everyone type Pisces in the chat because I'm a Pisces. That shit hurt. Because I was like, why would you not do what you wanted, right? So after 10 years, I discovered the hard way. Who wants to hear that? How many of you are enjoying this? This presentation is way better than my other ones, isn't it? I know some of you have been to my other ones. This one's way better, right? This one's way more sick, right? Okay, cool. This one took so fucking long. So cool. Jocelyn says first time here. It's fire. So this is the new presentation. I like this one way better. So this is the best. This is the best worst story ever. Okay. So the reason why you've been struggling, this is probably why. You know, this is the I wasn't trying until I was. How many like that was the fastest chapter ever. Let me go back. The best worst story ever, real quick. Ready? The reason you've been struggling, this is probably why. And then I go back into like, this is why I was struggling, because I don't know you, yeah? But I know I wasn't trying until I was. How many of you aren't trying? Just say yes. If you're not trying yet, just say, yeah, I'm not trying yet. Because I went from 34,000 followers to 100,000. The hard way. The hard way is what I've been doing for the last few years. This is the hard way. So for those of you who've been following me for the last 2-3 years, this is some of the things that I paid for. There's way more. There's more than this, but this is just some. I paid an Instagram coach and a TikTok coach. I realized once I hit 100,000 followers, so I went from 34K to 100K pretty quickly. And what I did, how many of you want to have 100,000 followers, by the way? How many of you want to have 100,000 followers? And you don't need 100,000 followers to make a lot of money, by the way. But if you had 100,000 followers, it does expedite the process. So what happened is I actually paid someone $500 to help me with Instagram. I was posting on Instagram and I was growing, but it was like super slow. And it was because I wasn't posting anything that had to do with astrology. I was posting like everything but astrology, which is crazy. I paid a TikTok coach $2,000. So the reason why I went from, how many of you followed me between 100,000 and 400,000? If you followed me between 100,000 and 400,000, that $2,000 that I paid Robert was the money that got me to like this amount. Okay. And everything Robert taught me, because I paid for it, is something I teach you now. So that's how Lisa was able to get to 100,000. Okay. So everyone type 100,000 followers, because what Robert taught me, I teach you, and I join it with astrology, literally. Okay. So I also paid someone to teach me how to make courses. I paid them $2,000. And that course is just long. Oh my God. But I finally learned how to make courses. Okay. I paid someone $2,000 to learn how to brand myself. That was another course. I paid another person $2,000 to learn how to brand myself. I paid just recently when I was in like Dubai, I paid $2,500 to another person to teach me how to do like Shopify. So like my website now and everything, like I paid someone $2,500 to teach me how to do that. And it's a course. Like I've literally never talked to this person. I've never spoken to this human being in my life. And I gave them $2,500. How many of you have done that before where you give someone hundreds or thousands of dollars and you never actually talk to them? Guys, like never. Like, yeah, no, literally, it's crazy. Henrique's like, never. Neuro's like, yeah. Katie's like, yeah. So for those of you who said, yeah, I know you're serious, because the thing is, when you pay someone this amount of money, you're going to get it back. You're either going to know that, oh, okay, this person taught me absolutely nothing and you can get a refund, or you're going to get it back. So I paid a business coach $10,000. I paid a business coach $10,000. She taught me how to do webinars. She didn't teach me this webinar. I actually learned this from another guy. The guy I learned this webinar here is from a guy named Russell Brunson. He's a Pisces. He holds the Guinness Book of World Records. He sold $3.2 million in 90 minutes. I'm probably not going to reach that today, but my goal is definitely to do that. I want to do that. He did $3.2 million in 90 minutes, which is fucking crazy, right? That's a lot of money, right? So how much did I pay to learn how to do everything? I paid $19,000 last year, or 2 years ago, excuse me. It took me a year and a half to integrate everything. Everyone type 19,000. Everything that I learned over the last 1.5 years, on social media, I give it to you for $55.55. Isn't that cool? I'm such a nice guy. No, I'm lying. I'm not nice. I'm kind. I'm actually the meanest person ever. So again, if you want to grab that, it's on my website. It's already there. Like you literally don't need to type in anything else. But the big thing is I'm gonna give you the secrets. So these are some things these are some extra things. I know y'all know there's more to this story, right? So I'm gonna give you the secrets in the next 5 minutes. Okay. I'm gonna give you the secrets in the next 5 minutes. And it's funny because there's 55 people in here and the workshop is $55.55, right? How many of you have bought it already? I know some of you bought the ebook. How many of you got the workshop while we've been sitting here talking? If you got it, just say, I got the ebook or the workshop. Just let me know. So I'm going to give you the secrets live right now in the next 5 minutes. Okay. So here are the 3 secrets. How many of you want the 3 secrets? Because the 3 secrets are super important. The 3 secrets are fundamental. I'll wait. There's 55 people in here. When 20 some people say something, I'll know you're ready. Cool. Lit. A few more people. All right, fire. Is anyone taking notes, by the way? Because there's a few things I've said today that I feel like you should have taken notes on. All right? Cool, lit. So the 3 secrets. The 3 secrets of manifesting a successful health, wealth, and relationships in your life. Number 1 is consistency, right? Consistency is huge. When you're working with consistency in your chart, the reason, the what behind this is, it is the fixed signs in your chart. Everyone type fixed or write down fixed signs. The fixed signs in your chart help you be consistent. Taurus, Leo, Aquarius, and Scorpio. You don't need to have planets in those signs to be consistent. It is very helpful, though. If you can master those 4 signs in your chart, you'll learn consistency. What's the long route to consistency? Let's talk about it. Because let me know in the chat if this is something you've experienced. How many of you have a lack of motivation or unclear goals? How many of you have difficulty with time management and prioritization? How many of you have feel of failure or success? How many of you lack discipline or self-control? How many of you are overcommitting or taking on too many things? How many of you are perfectionists or overly critical, right? How many of you have external factors such as stress, illness, or unexpected events happening in your life? How many of you lack accountability? This was one of mine, is like, I lacked accountability as fuck. And that really threw things off. How many of you are inconsistent with your habits and routines? Cam says, you're airing me out. Let it air out, baby. How many of you have a lack of clarity in understanding your task or the goals that you need to make money? Katie says, I'm inconsistent. I hear you. How many of you lack intrinsic motivation or interest in the task or goals that you do? Al says, this is me, the fuck? Whole time, I literally just took a picture of all of you and put it on the screen, right? But let me be honest too. This was me. This was me. I have ADHD. Like, I was taking 40 milligrams of Adderall not that long ago. Like, literally, before I blew up on TikTok, like, I actually stopped taking Adderall after I blew up on TikTok, like, because I wasn't able to be as creative as I wanted to be. So I stopped taking Adderall. And when I stopped taking Adderall, I started making more money. Literally, like, crazy. Like, I wasn't a robot anymore. Because when I would make content, I would be robotic. Like, I would be weird. Like, I thought I had to have a niche and all this stuff. And like, as soon as I stopped taking Adderall, I was myself, and like, people fell in love with that. And that's when I built a brand. Everyone type the word brand for me. Secret number 2 is use artificial intelligence. Now, this is something I just started doing, but artificial intelligence in the next 5 years, this is what's going to help me become a millionaire. I'm already on track. Now the next step is to optimize. using artificial intelligence is the key. So for those of you who at the end of the presentation want to work with me on like outside of the workshop and work with me one-on-one, how many of you want to work with me one-on-one and these things like how like Rita did? How many of you want to work with me like and get results like how other people? So I can tell you right now, like, I'm gonna make it like a really sick deal for you, okay? The thing is, when you're using artificial intelligence, you need to be a really good question asker. And that's something I grew up with because my mom and my family is not from America. So I had to learn how to ask questions. How many of you are parents? Like, how many of you are immigrant children? Like you came, like your first gen? Me. We ask the best questions, right? Because we know, like if you ask the wrong question, you're gonna get hit in the head. So you have, like, we are the best. We are so good at asking questions, right? Like, because if you like, one of the things I grew up with is like my mom, like I would ask her for help with my math homework, and like no shade to my mom. Like my mom's probably the most perfect person in the world. But like I would ask her for math homework, like to help me with my math homework. And I would be like, Mom, like she would check my homework because she's such a good parent. She'd be like, and she's a Sagittarius. So she'd be like, do your homework, study, study. Like it's because of her I read so much and I study so much. And I'd be like, Mom, I asked her one time, I was like, is my homework right? And she'd be like, double check this. And I'd be like, okay. And then I'd feel like a little insecure about the answer. And then I changed it. And then I'd go to school and then I'd get, instead of me getting 100%, I'd get one wrong because I was insecure about the answer. So lame, right? How many of you have ever felt insecure about an answer on a test or quiz or homework and you changed your answer? You went in and erased it and you turned it in and then you got it wrong because you second guessed yourself. So lame. So this is why I love artificial intelligence, is because you just need to be really good at asking really good questions. So I have for you today, at the end of this presentation, I'm going to give you 500 amazing questions to ask ChatGPT that will help you start making $10,000 a month. Okay. I just finished it. I haven't even told my test group. In my test group, I tell them everything first, but I'm telling everyone because a lot of them are here right now. I'm telling everyone, I'm going to show you the 500 best questions and I'm going to give it to you. Obviously for, a low price, but it's not going to be too overwhelming, okay? But ChatGPT, everyone type ChatGPT in the chat so I know that you're paying attention. ChatGPT is one of the most robust artificial intelligences in the world right now. I have a membership, it's $20. You can definitely use this to like answer a lot of questions. So what I want you to do is, instead of paying one of those astrologers on, and this is me being an asshole a little bit, but instead of, actually, you know what? I'm not going to say it like that. This is me being a really kind person. Instead of paying an astrologer $200 when you don't believe in yourself, you don't have self-reassurance, and you don't have clarity yet, go to ChatGPT and tell ChatGPT, give me a clear and easy breakdown of the type of online business I should do with Virgo in the 6th house. And you can use this for any placement. You can do Aries in the 10th house, Aries in the 1st house, Aries in the 5th, whatever. Be as descriptive as possible with the online content I should make for this business. Go in detail the step-by-step process for building a sellable online business using the energy of, you can use Virgo, you can use Aries, you can use any zodiac sign, literally. Lucia, what's poppin'? And follow the instructions that ChatGPT says. Literally, follow the instructions step by step and make a to-do list and finish everything, right? So I can tell you to do that, but the likelihood of you actually doing it is like, there's only maybe like one of you in this whole group. Honestly, if you go to ChatGPT and get this information, there's only like one of you who will actually do it, right? Can you leave this for a minute so I can write it down? No. And when I say actually do it, I mean literally do it. Like there's so few of you who will actually do it for the next 2 years. So the long way used to have to go to an astrologer, build a website, hire a designer, used to have to build a programmer. And these are all things, if you're starting a business, you still need to build a website. You still need to design it. You still need to program it so that when people go to it, they can actually buy stuff from you. You still need to get on social media. And a lot of you, when you go on social media, you're guessing, right? And a lot of you have to buy an expensive business coach like me and pay me hundreds of thousands of dollars to help you with this, right? Everyone's seeing how like ChatGPT just like changes the game. Like instead of you like having to like struggle with all these different steps. And I want to teach you because I can tell you what to type into ChatGPT, but that was just one example. I have 499 more exact questions that you can ask ChatGPT to help you understand your business and get clarity and be reassured and have self-love in this process. Who wants to know secret number 3? How do you read your chart? Like, I want to show you real quick how to read your chart super quickly. How many of you want to learn how to read your chart super fast? Super fast. Someone said someone said in the chat, as an AI language model, I don't believe in astrology and any form of pseudoscience. You didn't type in what I told you. And you can ask it again. Tell ChatGPT, tell me exactly what I need to know, and it will do it. Okay, I pay for it. So I have the paid version. It's $20 a month. How many of you want to learn astrology quickly? Just say yes, Sunny. Sunny, go ahead. So here's the quick. You need to identify the planets and their placements, look in the position of the planets of the chart, note which signs and how. I'm not even gonna start because there is no shortcut. There is no shortcut to learning astrology. Okay? You need to learn the signs and houses. Each planet represents a different energy force in the person's life, while the signs and houses indicate the energies expressed. Analyze the ascendant. The ascendant in the rise. What's your rising sign? The eastern horizon, the time of a person's birth. It represents a person's outward personality and the present of the sounds of the world. Interpret the sun. You need to go through each and every single planet in every single house. There is no short way. Guess how long it took me to read my chart? 7 years. Everyone type 7 years in the chat. My goal is to get you to do it in 4 weeks to 90 days. I want this group of 50 people to be the first group who gets through it in 4 weeks to 90 days. It took me 7 years. But you can't just every single time I tell you, every time I make a video like, oh yeah, Aries placements, go look in your chart. Wherever you have Aries, this new moon is going to help you have a new beginning. You can't just be like, oh, Sunny, what does it mean for me? And in the comment section, Sunny, what does it mean? That it doesn't work that way. Yeah, it doesn't work that way. You need to use ChatGPT and say, okay, ChatGPT, I have Aries in the 3rd house. What can I do to manifest with this new moon? And ChatGPT will tell you what to do based on your 3rd house. Is this making sense, everyone? Yes or yes? Is anyone completely lost? If you're completely lost, just give me like 5 to 10 question marks. Okay. So now the big thing is consider the aspects. You have to, so you can know your chart, but there's also aspects. Aspects are the relationships between the planets. You also need to use the houses and their rulers. You also need to analyze the planetary patterns. So this is how you read astrology. Guess what? There's a part 2. Everyone type part 2 in the chat for me so I know you're paying attention. Okay? There's a part 2. Once you know all of that stuff, you also need to look at the rulerships. You need to consider intercepted lines. You need to look at the nodes. You need to look at the asteroids. You need to look at a person's life, right? So you need to also consider retrograde motions, right? You also need to look at a person's transits. You can't just look at someone's chart. You also have to look at the transits too. If there's an astrologer not telling you about the transits too, they're lying to you. All right. You need to use your intuition and your experience finally. All right. You need to consider a person's unique life circumstances also. You need to have an open mind. So at the very bottom, what does it say here? Consider consulting with a professional astrologer. I want to show you how to do this quickly. How many of you want to learn astrology quickly? Because that is why we're here, right? This long list of things is very important, but that's not what we came here for. So I have a list of ChatGPT's 500 best questions for astrology, and I will give this to you at the end of the presentation just because you stayed. All right? Just because you stayed. Everyone understand that? So, manifest with astrology. How many of you have heard this before? Manifest with astrology, manifest with astrology. How many of you, if I asked you to like, try it out, would you give it a shot? Cool. So, I used to not believe in myself, and then I had an experience. My last time, like figuring things out, I had a really bad story, and I had an epiphany. This is the huge epiphany. The epiphany was pretty simple, actually. I had to take more action on what I wanted. Everyone understand that? I'm an Aries rising. I have Aries placements. This new moon is represented by Aries. All I had to do was take more action on what I wanted. A lot of you are probably wondering how, right? How? How did you take more action? If you're wondering how, go ahead and drop that in the chat, because the how is the most important part. The epiphany is important, but the how did you take more action is the most important part. So step number one is of what I did. This is what I did. I went from posting twice a day to 3 times a day. Look at the difference. I went from posting twice a day to 3 times a day. This is literally the change. 2 times a day, 3 times a day, 3 times a day, 4 times a day, 3 times a day, 4 times a day. Everyone seeing the difference? 3 times a day, 4 times a day, 2 times a day. How many of you are posting once a month, once a week? Just say yeah. If you're posting 2 times a day, boom. If you're posting 3 times a day, boom. If you're posting 4 times a day, boom. Can everyone see the difference between what I did here? Jennifer says, I post 3 to 4 times a day and not growing like that. I can show you what you're doing wrong because I wasn't doing the right thing for a long time too, and then I figured it out. How many of you want to learn what to post 3 times a day, 4 times a day, 5 times a day? Right? That's super important because what you post is more important. The volume and the quality both matter. Quantity and quality both matter. What else? Consistency. Those are the whats. Okay? So the total investment to learn all of this. How much did I spend to learn Instagram? 500. It's on the screen. How much did I learn to do TikTok? 200 or 2000, excuse me. How much did I spend to learn how to make courses? 2000. How much did I spend to learn branding? 2000. How much did I learn? How much did I invest to learn how to do e-commerce? 2,500. I spent $2,500 just to learn how to get you to click the link in my bio. I spent $10,000 for a business coach. Jennifer says, I have a business appointment. Will this be available later? Yes, it will be available later. If you need to miss this right now, totally cool. I'm not going to hold you, but I do feel like this is probably the best thing to be at right now, like on the planet. So I spent 10K. Everyone type 10K for a business coach. So here's some other people's results. This is Rita again. She posted one video and it did over 1 million views by the time we talked on the phone the next time. Okay. This is what she posted. How many of you could sit in front of the camera and type these words when you realize you took the kids to school, ran 2.5 miles, meditated, drank 1 liter of water, did your affirmations, had a healthy breakfast, called a loved one, planned for the day, and finished reading outside? How many of you could type that on the screen? Yes. Anyone else? Could anyone else break down your day on the screen and sit there and read a book? Because this video did 259K likes, which equaled about 1.7 million views. Do you think, say, yes, I can. If you could do this, because look at, do y'all see Rita's face in the corner? She's geeked. Look at her face. Look at her face in the corner. Shorty is geeked up. Are you serious? Look at her face. She's geeked. She's a Leo rising. So who does this work for? Again, let's go over it. This works for entrepreneurs, small business owners, freelancers. By the way, freelancers are going to be the best business. Why? Because a lot of people are about to lose their jobs, like really soon. A lot of people are about to lose their jobs. A lot of people are going to get laid off. E-commerce. If you run an e-commerce store, if you sell items online, this is good. If you have a nonprofit, you need to have social media too. If you do a service, how many of you want to do like a service or be a professional in something? This will work for you. My students have earned extra money through their online platforms. Part-time employees like Lisa who want to supplement their income through online work, this will work for you. Salaried employees who want to start an online business, this will work for you. Earn more money through your online platform, okay? This is super important. So let's break some of your beliefs. Here's some other people that I've helped. This is Aura. Aura is now at 491,000 followers. When I first met Shorty, she was at like 271,000. So we almost doubled her following. This is Ro. When I first met Ro, she was at about 20K and doing really low views. Now she's doing way higher views and is on her way to like 70,000 followers. This is Madison. Madison, can y'all see Madison's views? Madison's views are like 1,000, 2,000, 5,000. And she circled all the ones that I sent her, 20K, 10K. How many of you want this? How many of you want to get that kind of results on your videos? Talking about something that you love, right? So this is how I grew myself. This is how I grew my own platform. I went from 35K to 100K to like literally hundreds of thousands of followers. Isn't that cool? How easy it was? Literally. So this is the big thing, is you can do this too. I've done it. Other people have done it. Rita did it using my system. How many of you think this will work for you based on what I'm sharing with you right now? Because the thing is, I know what you're struggling with. How many of you know Nadi? When I first met Nadi, Nadi got a reading from me. It was a 15-minute call, but it was worth it. She literally was like, her views have gone up so much. She's making so much more money. Literally, she's killing it right now. She's so good. She's a Taurus. She's so good. Literally one of my favorite readers. I loved reading her chart. Even though it's super short, Like, she's so good, right? I've worked with some of your favorite content creators. I've worked with some of your favorite musicians. Does anyone have questions? Let's take a quick break. Does anyone have questions? Does anyone have any false beliefs that you need to get over right now? Anyone have any questions? Raise your hand in the chat or raise your hand in the thing for me. No one? Okay, cool. Ty, what's up?
Hi. My question is the workshop the same as Manifest with Astrology? Workshop we were talking about?
So the workshop is a combination of everything, all of it, all my secrets and more, everything,
So
step by
does
step.
it include the trends list also?
It does not include the trends list. The trends list is for me. Maybe we can talk about that. You know, I don't mind giving the trends list, but if y'all buy the ebook, I don't mind adding you to the trends list. We can have that conversation. But right now, the trends list is just for the people I coach.
All right, understood.
Yeah, cool. That was a great question. Thank you. Brittany, what's popping? Jumbotron popping.
This is definitely a false belief, but I feel like it's going to take like a lot of energy for me that will leave me feeling depleted, if that makes sense. But I know that is so silly because if I'm doing something that brings me joy and I'm helping people, it will be the opposite of that. It will give me life.
Right. Literally.
Thank you.
And yeah, thank you. You're welcome. The thing is, what I teach you, like Lisa talks about Ayurveda. A lot of you don't even know what Ayurveda is, right? But she has 100,000 followers talking about Ayurveda, which is crazy because she doesn't even, like, a lot of people don't even know what Ayurveda is, but imagine having 100,000 followers for something that you would be talking about anyways. That's something I really love. So how many of you are in the, like, I don't know what to say on camera? How many people? There should be a lot of you, right? There's like almost all of you should be like, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. I'm a psychic. Did y'all know I'm a Pisces? I'm a psychic, literally, right? I don't know what to say. Perfect. I'll tell you what to say. If you don't know what to say, I'll tell you what to say. Look at how I was able to help Madison with her post, right? If you don't know what to say, I will tell you. I will make it easy for you. Make it real easy for you. Sophia says, do we have to use ourselves as a way to attract followers? Can we use products as an example? You can use anything. You just need to be consistent. Someone else, who thinks you need to have a niche? You don't need to have a niche. You don't need a niche. How many of you feel like you need to have a niche before you can start this? You don't. Neither do I. I don't have a niche. I literally talk about what I love. That's it. You don't need a niche. Okay? You literally don't need a niche at all. You can do this because you simply need help. That's really what it comes down to, is you literally just need some help and you'll be able to do this. That's all. As long as you have some help, you can do this. Do you trust me? Someone says, what if you already have one? You don't need it. You're not married to it. So step number 3 is you just need to help people consistently. What I recommend is in your videos and in your posts, how to, and then tell people how you solved your problems with dating Scorpios who lie a lot on camera. Tell people how you solved your problems and they will follow you. Tell people, this is how I healed this. This is how I cured this. This is how I got over this. This is how I did this. And then this is the what. This is what you need to do. And I will show you how to do it. Is this making sense to everybody? Yes or yes? Anyone confused? Cool. So there's a better new way. That better new way is Manifest with Astrology workshop. Okay. So what we'll do here is, that's the end of the presentation. That's really everything I wanted to show you. There's a couple other things I wanted to show you too. Do y'all want to keep seeing some stuff? I want to show you a couple other things. Willow, how many of you know Willow Smith? How many of you have heard of Willow Smith? Willow Smith reposted me because I posted a meme that had to do with something that she cares about, which is what? Spirituality. Literally. So because Willow Smith is into spirituality, this was something that helped both of us, right? So she reposted my content on her story, right? I got so many followers from this. It was insane. Guess what? Willow Smith's aunt follows me. Willow Smith's aunt follows me, which is super cool. She's been following me for like 2 or 3 years now. So I'm going to be hanging out with Will Smith and Jada and Jaden, all of them pretty soon, right? Isn't that super cool? This could be you. Why? Because you just need to tell your story. You just need to share your story. That's it. Breaking limited beliefs. You can become consistent. Okay? All you need to do is ask a computer questions and follow. Can you ask a computer questions? Yes or yes? Can you follow step-by-step instructions in a video? If I gave them to you in a video, could you follow them? Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure. So this is the undeniable truth. Who thinks Manifest with Astrology is awesome? Right? So how to manifest health, wealth, relationships with astrology. This is how you do it. Okay? This is really how it's done. Is you need to start. Wherever you have Aries in your chart is where you need to start. That's it. Am I making complete sense? Cool. So let's keep going. Learn astrology quickly. The secret is millionaires don't use astrology, billionaires do. The reason why you're not learning astrology quickly is because you don't have an emotional attachment to it. Okay? You don't have an emotional attachment to it. If you use astrology to make money, you'd use astrology every day. Yes or yes? If you use it to make money to your bank account every day from the beach or from your bed, would you use astrology more? Yeah, I'm pretty sure you would. If astrology is confusing to you, guess what? If it made you money, I'm pretty sure you'd study it, yeah? So I have 47 hours worth of video content for you that you can listen to while you're driving, while you're on the bus, while you're on a plane, while you're walking. Because if you listen to enough astrology, like I did, it took me 7 years, right? If you listen to it for the next 4 weeks to 90 days, you will download this information. You really only need 21 days. I had a girl named Bianca, I think she's in here. Bianca listened to it in a weekend. She listened to it over like 3 days. And she started posting and got followers, literally. Like, it's crazy. She was able to get 1,000 plus followers in a weekend just listening to what I'm giving you here. So this is the epiphany. This is the astrology epiphany. What do you need to learn? What's the first thing you need to learn about astrology, folks? So we can, because someone said, I find astrology confusing. What's the first thing you need to learn? It's on the screen, thank God. The first thing is the zodiacs. You need to know that all 12 zodiacs are in your chart. All 12 zodiacs are in your birth chart and in your progress chart. You need to master all of them because they all matter. They all hold a secret for you. You don't need to have planets inside of every single sign, but you do need to know where each sign is in your chart. Does that make sense to everybody? Step 2, every zodiac sign has a house, and you need to know what that house means for that zodiac sign. Once you find it out for yourself, you can look at your friends, your family, your business. You can start tracking your period. You can start tracking your manifestations. You can start tracking when your partner's going to come in. You can start seeing when you're going to have health problems and when you're going to have health benefits. You can start tracking these things for yourself. Because if you spend, how many of you have bought a reading before where you spent like $20, $200 on a reading? If you just learn this for yourself, you can have people paying you. Is that making sense, everybody? Isn't that cool? Like, literally, once you learn the zodiacs and the houses, you literally know so much. But then what happens next when you like learn the planets? When you start adding in the planets, now you are super far ahead. And this is the important thing, is like, once you go zodiac, houses, planets, you literally know so much, right? You literally know so much. Like, so many people, like, they'll tell you like, oh, you're a Pisces. Oh, you're sensitive. But that's not even how Pisces work. All the water signs are sensitive, and the earth signs are sensitive, and the fire signs are sensitive, and the air signs are sensitive. They're just sensitive in different ways. Right? Isn't that cool? Like, you can just look at a chart and you can be like, oh, you're a Taurus? Okay, cool. This person's sensitive with their plans. Like, if something ruins their plans and ruins their manifestations, that's when they get upset. Okay, cool. I won't do that, or I will do that, you know, depending on like how you want to seduce and manipulate and take over the world, right? It's totally up to you, right? And once you know this about people and you know this about people, like, imagine if you knew what zodiac sign a lot of your clients were, or a lot of the people who buy your stuff. Like, if you knew which zodiac signs to talk to and you just made content for them and you could just sell stuff to them, wouldn't that be like super fun and easy? Right? And imagine if you knew the aspects. And if you knew the aspects, like what a conjunction mean, a conjunction is like really easy. You know, a conjunction is like, oh, these two energies are blending together, the two planets' energies. A trine is a supportive energy between 3 different points in your chart, or a retrograde. A lot of people think retrograde's like bad. Retrograde's like literally one of the best things. Why? Because retrograde is like the time to redo things and get things like organized. Everyone say retrograde's good in the chat, so I know you're paying attention, right? What's a sextile? Sextile is when 2 things are flirting. What's a vertex? A vertex is a challenge that's going to help you get success. Like, what if I taught you all of this in 4 weeks, right? Like, all of this would help you, would it not? Would it not help you a lot? So I want to know who wants this for themselves. Tia, I appreciate you. Have a great weekend. So who wants this for themselves? Let me ask you a question. Can I ask you a question? Cool. Who wants Manifest with Astrology workshop? Cool. Here's what you're going to get. This is what you're going to get. You're going to get me. You're going to get access to me. This is my higher self, or what I think it looks like, right? You're also going to get an epiphany. So the reason why I created this was because I don't want to read charts anymore, but also I want to help as many people as humanly possible build a business that makes them $10,000 a month or more. And that's why I made this, is because Lisa did it, Rita did it, Ro did it, Madison did it, Kalani did it. I have so many people that did it. The reason why I built this is because I want other people to what? Type it in the chat. What do you think I'm looking for? You think I'm looking for money at this point? Because I already travel wherever I want to. I already make enough money doing, like, not doing any of this stuff. Why do I want it? I want to make sure it works for a lot of people. I want to show more people how to get free, because America is in its Pluto return and it's going downwards. A lot of countries are not doing really well. I want people to feel safe. I want people to feel happy. I want people to be happy. I want people to feel like they can do what they want to do and talk about what they love. I want people to feel excited when they get on camera. I want people to feel gratitude in their heart when they are talking about the thing that they love the most. Does that make sense to everyone, why I created Manifest with Astrology? Because I was homeless 3 times. I don't want anyone to have to experience that, because it was not fun. I really almost went crazy. In fact, I think I did. Right? Like, I made the money and now I get to talk about astrology. Now I get to talk about whatever I want online, and I know that people will support me. Build, then be weird. I heard that today from one of my mentors. Build first, be weird second. A lot of you are trying to be weird first to make money, and that's not how it works. Build first. Everyone type that in the chat. Build first. Build your business first, then be weird. Build first. Is this making sense to everybody? So this is a quick high-level recap. And by high level, I mean not that high level. It's literally, I'm going to show you how to get the Manifest with Astrology workshop is going to show you how to have financial freedom, time freedom, and location freedom. Those are the 3 things I want to show you. Why? Because they're super important. Okay? They're super important. How many of you want the 3 freedoms? Cool. So get started today for just $60. Like I said, I've spent over $19,000 learning everything to be able to be where I am. I'm going to give it to you for $60 today. Who has questions? You can grab it on my website. It's sunnymfmoney.com. It's the very first thing on my website. It's actually $55.55. What does it include? Everything I showed you today, Katie. Literally. This whole presentation is inside. Everything. The astrology, the chat GPT. The only thing that I haven't included yet is the trends, which honestly, we can talk about that. If y'all want the trends, I'll give it to you. No big deal. On the house. Anyone raising their hand? No. No one's raising their hand. I was low-key disappointed it was $60, not $50. Cool. So for everyone who signs up right now and joins Manifest with Astrology workshop, I'll give you the trends list also. I'll add you to my daily trends list. I'll send you trends 7 days a week on TikTok and Instagram, so you never have to guess what to post. For everyone who signs up right now, I'll do that for you. Deborah, what's popping?
Oh, I just wanted to make sure. I was just saying thank you.
Of course, you're welcome.
And the chat GTP, the 500 questions, is that a part of this too, or is that something separate?
So that is actually, do y'all want that too? Would that, if you buy that too, would that help you make this purchase today?
Yeah.
So Katie says, how we receive the other offers. The moment you purchase it, I can see your email in my system. All I need to do is just add you to my email list. Literally, it takes like 2 seconds, not even.
Okay, I'm doing it now.
Cool. So this is the nice thing about, this work. So how many of you, Deborah, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Ty, what's up? Sophia says, do you speak about zodiacs, houses, planets, aspects in the workshop? 100%. How many of you want to get a little sneak preview of the workshop? How many of you want to see a little sneak preview of the workshop? So you can kind of get an idea of what it looks like. So someone asked for one-on-one help. If you want one-on-one help, how many of you want to work with me more closely? Because the workshop, the only thing that's missing from it is me. I do know some of you want more specific help. We can talk about that. I can tell you what that looks like, and I'll show you what that looks like. And I have a deal for you there too. So this is I'm going to give you a sneak peek. Who's ready? So this is the course here. I talk about the course. We go through the layout of the course. I give you the social media blueprint. I give you the trends. I give you the trends, how to find them yourself. I send you the trends and I show you how to find them for yourself. I show you how to go viral over and over, okay? I also show you the astrology basics. I cover the 12 houses, the 12 planets, the zodiac signs, how to manifest with the houses, how to combine the planets. I show you how to use it with your body, the astrology, the anatomy of your body, because you can manifest with your body as well. When you go to the gym, when you go out, when you wear clothes. That's why I have all this gold in my head. It's because I'm an Aries rising. So it makes me more attractive naturally to wear a lot of gold around my head. Okay. So I show you how to manifest with your chart. I show you how to manifest with your body. I show you how to manifest with the moon. I also show you how to get engagement with astrology, what to talk about on social media, how to get your first 1,000 followers. And if you already have thousands of followers, that will just expedite your process more. And I'm adding more to this. This is only half of what's actually going to be added. There's more coming, but this is the beginner stuff that you need right now. Okay? This is the beginner stuff that you need right away. Does that make sense to everybody? So Dre just said, I just purchased. Perfect. I'm excited. I'm excited to work with you. Cam said, I just purchased. I'm super excited. Cool. How about this? For the next few people who buy
It's still thinking.
It's still thinking? Okay, cool.
I don't know what's going on.
Gia says, I just bought it. Perfect. Cool. I'm super excited. So the nice thing about Circle is there's a chat feature. And I want you, when you get in, I want you to chat. On the second page, click it, join into the circle, and immediately you can start a discussion with people. I want you to start talking about your business. If you post on the discussion board about your business, I'll go in and respond to you and tell you how you can optimize your business a little bit more. And you can DM me directly. Once you buy this, you can DM me directly. You have access to me. You have access to my community, and you'll get access to all of the different videos that I'll be uploading. So someone asked me earlier, and I had this conversation with Ty just a few weeks ago, but for those of you who want to work with me more closely, go ahead and type in the chat if you want to work with me more closely. If you want the one-on-one I usually do for my last test group, I did it for 2,500. The last test group I did for 2,500. What you get in that is way more. You get everything that is in the workshop, you get included, but you also get more. So that's what I did with Rita. Rita paid me 500 at the time, but I didn't have this course set up. I didn't have all these systems in place. So now I do it for 2,500, 5 times the price. Why? Because I know way more than I knew at the time. So if you want the one-on-one, what I'll do today is I will show you how to get to the one-on-one. The one-on-one, if you want that, the reason why it's different is because I actually hired a few people lately and I have different coaches. So you're going to get coached by not only me, but you're also going to get coached by my team. So I have a team now of 3 people. I have a team now of 3 people. So it's me, it's Bianca, and I have another guest coach coming on that it's going to help us. Let me see. How do I send to everyone? So who wants the one-on-one? The one-on-one is here for you. Someone says, is the workshop included in the ebook? There is no ebook. I do sell ebooks, but the workshop is the main thing on my website, sunnymfmoney.com. When you type sunnymfmoney.com, that's the one product that you'll see in the front. If you want to work with me one-on-one, Ty says the website says it's an ebook. It says on the cover of the actual product that it's a workshop. Okay, so go ahead and purchase it, download it. On the second page, you'll see where it says the information right there for you. Okay, once you actually get into the book, there's a book, and then you click the link and it brings you into the actual circle group. Everyone understand that? Cool. Ty, I think I can hear you. I can hear Deborah. So for those of you who want to work with me one-on-one, the one-on-one feature is I get to talk to you and I get to read your chart. So basically, I'm going to read your chart for 4 weeks and help you plan your business out. The nice thing about working with me one-on-one is I want to help you brand yourself based on your chart. I want to help you make your content based on your chart. Week 3, I'm going to help you sell things based on your chart. And week 4, I'm going to show you how to advertise. Advertising is very important because I helped multiple people make viral videos, as you saw, right? Now imagine you do what Rita did. Rita did it in 24 hours. Imagine you take a video that does 1.2 million views and you run an ad on it. Imagine putting $50, $100, $200 behind a video that already did 1 million views. Do you think you're going to make some money off of that? Yes. 100%. Literally. What I'm doing right now is I'm stepping more into doing astrology and advertising, where I'm using people's charts and using people's businesses to run ads. Why? Because I already know how to make a viral video. I've already done a video that did 4 million, 3 million, 2 million, 1 million, 12 million. I've already done it before. So now I'm doing that while running ads. A lot of people don't know how to make viral videos, but they want to run ads for their business. Imagine you can make a viral video and you run an ad on a viral video. If you're selling something that's like in the right price range, what kind of money are you going to make? A lot. Is this making sense to people? I see a couple people nodding. Ty, I just gave you permission to unmute. I think if you still have a question. Okay, cool. Does anyone else have any questions? So I see a few people have grabbed the workshop. Let me go in and quick add you to the trends list. I haven't even sent it out yet because I wanted to finish this. I'm gonna give y'all one more minute. It's gonna be 8 o'clock p.m. The next person who joins, I'll add you into the trends list and I'll send you my 500 prompts for the chat GPT. If you still need to think about it, go ahead, that's totally fine, but you won't get access to the trends list and you won't get chat GPT. I downloaded it and I don't see the page. It's the second page. So just 1 second, let me go in. Let me go in on the back end, make sure everyone's good. Perfect. So I'm gonna make sure right now, everyone, go ahead and check out that email that you got with the download link. And I want you to okay, a second. I'm gonna send you all an email at the same time here, just a second. And it's gonna give you access to everything we just talked about. And I want you to give me a confirmation as soon as that happens. Mm. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Okay. Perfect. Now, everyone go back to that email real quick. Here we go. Da 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 da. Okay. For all of you who just ordered, let me grab your emails. Uno, dos, tres. Thank you so much, Catherine. I just got the order from you, confirmed. I'm gonna shoot you an email. And you're gonna get an email directly from me. And my email is sun@sunnymfmoney. So check that in just a moment here, okay? Boom, boom, boom. Ebony, thank you for your purchase. I'm about to add you to the list real quick. Boom, boom. Sasha, I have you in here. I'm about to add you to the list. And I'm going to be sending you everything in this email. Simran, thank you for your order. I'm going to add you to this list. Cool, cool, cool. Deborah, I have your order. Thank you. I'm going to add you to this list. Brittany, I'm going to add you to the list. And I'm going to unmute. I'm going to answer some questions. Sophia, what's up?
Hi, Sunny.
How you doing?
Do you have a, I'm good. How are you?
I'm well.
Good. Just wondering if you have a personal email where we can reach you.
Yes, it's sun@sunnymfmoney.com.
Perfect. Thanks so much.
You're welcome. And I do have a link for those of you who are looking for more one-on-one. We can sit down and do an interview. Clarice, thank you for your order. Sophia, thanks for the question. Sophia, how's it going?
Hi, Sunny. I'm Sasha.
Sasha, how's it going?
It's good. Thank you so much. That was a great seminar.
Thank you.
I'm curious to know, I remember you mentioning there was like hours of audio that we could listen to.
Yes.
Where could I find that if I want to get like a thorough understanding of the houses and everything?
Absolutely. So I'm actually emailing everyone right now. I'm gonna put it all together at the same time.
Thank you.
So yes. So here we go. Welcome to. I'm doing this in front of you just to show you all nothing needs to be perfect. Okay, that's the main thing. You do need to be 80% good at what you're doing. So I'm really good at sending emails really fast, right? So boom, I'm gonna add in this document. Okay. And the 47. Uno, dos, tres. So actually, for everyone who just got in, I'm gonna give you an extra gift because this didn't go as planned. I'm gonna give you access to another 10 hours of content that I created. So check the email real quick in just a few minutes. Perfect.